Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Wednesday, October 8th. That's declaration day for most of our funds here. About 4:30 in the afternoon, markets are closed, and this is our daily recap video for our 4 Roundhill weekly paying funds that we cover on this channel. The first 3 are 0DTE covered call strategy ETFs on the indexes, QDTE for the NASDAQ 100, XDTE for the S&P 500, and RDTE for the Russell 2000. The last is a Bitcoin covered call strategy ETF, YBTC, which uses IBIT as its underlying, creates a synthetic position or synthetic combo, and then sells weekly covered calls off of that. Reminder, I'm on X at ETF_inspector. Especially for this video, I post the trades for these 0DTE funds every day. Unfortunately, this morning, I forgot to post it. To my credit or my excuse, it was my oldest daughter's birthday, so we had a early morning. We went to breakfast together before taking her to school, and then I just kind of got lost in the day and completely forgot to post these until I started to check out how things were going and realized I never posted them. Today's also declaration day, so we'll talk about how the trades performed. We'll talk about the announcements for the distributions and how my guesstimates were compared to what actually came out. First, we'll look at the market overall, and it was green. NASDAQ 100 up 1.19%. QDTE was not able to keep up, only up 0.67%, so we would say that underperformed. S&P, or the SPX, was up 0.58%. Again, XDTE, the Roundhill fund, not able to keep up, only going up 0.36%. The Russell 2000 up a little over 1%. RDTE not even close, only going up 0.3. And finally, YBTC, which is going to follow IBIT. IBIT was up 1.35%. YBTC was up 1.39%. So they were able to capture the upward movement today. We like green for sure. Everything went up, but let's see how our trades made out. So we'll start off with QDTE. They sold 382 calls on the NDX with a strike of 24,980. They collected $27.76 per share premium, or just over $1 million. But NDX closed at 25,136.62. If my math is correct, let's see. It might not. Yep, I might have done something wrong. Hold on. So it'd be 136.62 and another 20. So that'd be 156.62. So my math wasn't right. I'm glad I checked that. Either way, it cost $6 million, almost $5.9 million to close that out. So subtract the premium we had already collected, and today's day resulted in a $4.9 million loss. That just blew up this week. If we had anything last week, which we don't, it blew up last week. It blows up getting fired. But hey, that's the reason that QDTE was not able to keep up with the upward movement of the NASDAQ 100, because once it passed those sold strikes, they were getting as expensive to close out dollar for dollar as the increases were bringing up their holdings. Speaking of the holdings, no changes from yesterday as far as the positions here. These are all our synthetics. Now, obviously, today they will all increase very nicely, up over 1%, because of the underlying that they're based off of. There's $951 million in assets under management. Yesterday, we got a change in outstanding shares. It dropped 300,000 to 26,730,000. At the start of the day, that had our NAV at 35.60, and then share price is going to increase on a day like that, so that's why it's ending further up. Now, today is declaration day, 10/8. This might be one of the closest guesstimates I've had. So my guess was 20.5 cents, 20.5 cents, and they announced 20.4112 cents per share. So I missed it by fractions of a fraction of a penny, or 0.4%. So pat myself on the back for that one. It won't last long. Wait till we get to the other ones. Next, we look at XDTE. They sold 611 calls on the SPX with a strike of 6,735. Just not sure why we're selling lower strikes than the day before, but collecting $5.08 per share premium, or $310,000. SPX closed at 67.5372, so that's $18.72 too far. That would be the cash settlement price to close it out, or 1.1 million. But we do get to factor in the 310,000 we collected up front. So overall on the day, it's a loss of 800 to 33,000. Either way, at this point, right, we're in the negative. Pretty bad. Probably won't make it up the rest of the week. We'll probably finish in the negative again like last week, and again like the week before. When we look at XDTE, we had a slight change. They sold 4 of their deep in the money calls that expire this December 19th, bringing it from 378 down to 374. That's where we got that note there. Other than that, no changes. There's $421 million in assets under management. There was a reported increase in outstanding shares of 250,000, bringing it up to 9,615,000. The NAV at the start of the day, $43.81, going up a little over 1/3%. Should not get it all the way to 44.36, which is around where it ended today, which means these numbers aren't fully updated. I mean, I can only do what they show us, right? Outstanding shares, 9,615,000. But when the math doesn't work, we know that they're just being slow to report. Again, today is declaration day. I should have gone more with the average rather than dropping it, but either way, I would have missed it by 2 cents. If I went 19, instead I missed it by 2.5 cents. I guessed 18.5. They paid 20, or they announced 21.1523 cents per share. I did forget to mention, so for QDTEs, that would basically come out to just under 30% annualized yield on the payment that they announced. XDTEs coming in just under 25% for this, and today being declaration day, Thursday tomorrow is X day. So if you bought today, you will get the payment on Friday. But if you waited and you buy tomorrow, you will not. All right, last of the 0 DTEs, we have RDTE. They sold 681 calls on the Russell 2000 with a strike price of $24.65. Again, we sold a lower strike than yesterday and the day before. Even though, I mean, the market, did they start the day up? Yeah, as soon as the market opened, they started, but it was dropping very rapidly. So maybe that makes sense why they sold low. But in any case, they collected $4.12 per share premium, or $280,000. And we got a closing of $24.83.99. That's $18.99 beyond our sold strike price. That's what we got to pay to close it out. 1.2 million minus the 280 we collected in premium, and we overall lost $1 million on the trading day. Again, we were only up about 360 on the week, so now we are heavily negative and only 2 days to go. When we take a look at RDTE's holdings, no changes here. We've got our 4 sets of deep in the money calls with varying amounts at each. Net assets, or assets under management, 166 million, just under 5 million outstanding shares. NAV at the start around 33.60, and the slight move up brought the share price to 33.79 or thereabouts. Yep, it is updated. Today is declaration day again for this one. And so I should have listened to my average again, although it wasn't on, it was at least closer. But if you remember last week, they paid 36, almost 37 cents per share. So we were wondering why they were going crazy. That's why I kind of upped my guesstimate up from the average to 26 and a half, because I didn't want to be way off. But they dropped back down and announced 22.4722 cents per share, which comes out to about 34.5% annualized yield. I was off by almost 18%. Maybe we'll just say almost 4 cents. That doesn't sound as bad. Okay, and finally we have YBTC. Nice update for them. The reason they were able to keep up with the upward movement is because their calls are sold on IBIT at 71.95 expiring Friday. So although IBIT moved up nicely, it is still well below the 71.95, so they were able to fully capture that upward movement. Synthetic of IBIT expiring next Friday, so that's going to be getting closed out soon, is in the positive. It was worth $13 million at the start of the day. Obviously, IBIT moving upward, that will make these calls more valuable. That will make these puts less expensive to close out. So that's going to overall increase our synthetic value even more. So hopefully it stays nice and high above this 66.70 all the way through to close out, so they can get a nice realized profit. There's $326 million in assets under management, just under 7.5 million outstanding shares. NAV at the start of the day, 43.76. Yesterday was their declaration day, so today was their X day, and Thursday, tomorrow, is their payday, and that is 37.7594 cents per share. All right, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading tomorrow, and I'll catch you in the next video.